Hello and welcome. I'm Gregory Lewis and this is your next workout session with the Pilates wheel here on Facebook Live. As always, before we get started, please be sure you checked in with your healthcare provider before you begin this or any other workout routine. All right, happy Friday. I hope you've been having a good week. It was just raining so hard. It rained all throughout the night out here in Sag Harbor. And I woke up this morning and all the streets around the house were flooded. It was like I'm living on an island. But now the rain has stopped, the sun is out, it's like total renewal. And I like to think of that as the way it should feel after a really great Pilates session. It's like you've dealt with your body, you've hashed it out, you've found a sense of control, and now your body's invigorated. It is renewed, and as Joseph Pilates might say, you are returned to life. And you get to flourish as a result of doing this work. Today's workout is called Powerhouse. Whenever I use the term Powerhouse, of course, I'm talking about the organization of the center of the body. That man, Joseph Pilates, gave us that term to talk about the strong, stable center of the body from which all movement is initiated. We'll have a full body workout from the Powerhouse, and we'll take opportunities to check in and see, am I in that strong central place in my body? All right, so core or DLX setup works just fine since we are working center of the room. I'd like you to start by taking your wheel up to high axle. Oh, by the way, as you see the description of equipment, we're working with 2 blue bands, 2 foot loops, 2 handles, and of course, the Pilates wheel itself. So let's start on high axle. I'd like you to introduce the blue bands with the handles. So run the band through the handle, hook up to the same end. Same thing on the other side. And you'll put your 2 foot loops off to the side. We'll get to those in a little bit. I'd like you to set up your wheel in front of you. Even though we're on high axle with these bands attached, it does give drag on the floor. So even if you're on a smooth surface, the wheel should hang out nicely. I'd like you to start standing up with your wheel out in front of you. Take 2 big steps back from the bar and set yourself up in a tall standing position and create Pilates position, or as I like to call it more often these days, strong stance. We know that this positioning comes from the prevalent military stance of the day when Joseph Pilates was forming his methodology. So find that strong lockstep, that almost military stance. Let's bend the knees and take the simple act of pressing the heels firmly together. What does that make you feel? Maybe it makes you feel your inner thighs a little bit. Hopefully it makes you feel your glutes and the larger muscles in the hips. Keep the heels actively pressing together as you then also press the heels down until the legs are straight and feel that strong wrapping energy back into your hips. Shoulders down your back, the ribs are closed, the chest is open. That's hard to feel at first. Until the body's warm, it might feel like one or the other. Either the ribs are closed or the chest is open. I can't get both to happen at the same time. If that's the case for you, that's part of the work we're going to do. But try to hold the ribs closed, chest open with the shoulders on the back. Let's inhale the arms up from the side. And as you exhale, chin to chest. Remember, we only go up in Pilates. So the belly button is pulling up. Even as you're rolling down, the hips are trying to stay located over the heels, and I'm rolling down to tap the fingertips with a big scoop in the center of my body. Now I anchor down into the heels again, the tail pulls down the back. I'm stacking the spine bone by bone. I feel the hips pushing forward, the thighs pushing back, and circle the arms. Reverse the circle back up to the top, take it a little bit faster. Find the scoop and the lift. You are stretching your spine as you go down. Tap the floor, come up a little faster. Find those heels. And turn your palms away from each other. Feel the entire length of your arm. As you circle your arm, it's not up here in your hands. It's not down in your armpit. It is the whole length of the arm pushing away to stretch the chest. Let's take it back up again. And this time, let's see if we can roll down further. If you got your fingertips to the floor before, find more scoop in the belly and get your palms to the floor. Now, in that weird Pilates way, think about it. I didn't get my palms to the floor by pushing down more. I actually got my palms to the floor by scooping up more in my abdominals to lengthen my spine to get there. Now I roll back up. And this time we're going to take it down and walk it out to a plank. But we'll reverse it as soon as we get out there. See if you can get those palms down. If you cannot get to the palms, don't worry about it. Bend the knees just as much as you need to. And then as soon as you can, straighten those legs back out. Keep the belly scooping. In 4 steps, we're in a plank. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right in front of the bar. Heels tight, glutes tight, belly in. Press the floor away from you as the belly lifts you back up. And take the 4 same steps back in. 4, 3, try to keep those legs straight. 2, and 1. Push down into the heels and roll it up. Give me that one more time, that whole sequence. We circle up and roll it down. I get to the floor by pulling up and I'm walking. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm holding and make the neck longer, shoulders on the back. I feel my chest lifted up into the space between my shoulder blades. I feel the ribs lifting up into my middle back. I feel the belly pushing up into the low back. The tail is pulling back, the glutes are tight, and the belly lifts me back up. And I step in 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, roll it up. Arms up and circle. And this time we'll stay in that plank. And then transition down to the mat, hollow it out. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold that plank for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The powerhouse is oh so strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let the knees break. Sit back to a momentary child's pose. And then lift up until your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. Take an inhale where you are. Stick that tail back, chest forward. Exhale, round. Good. Inhale. It's the cat-cow that we borrow from the yoga practice. Tuck the tail, lift the ribs, round the neck. Oh. Inhale for 3. Exhale. Can you feel your spine getting longer in both directions of the movement? Make sure that this, the cow shape, is not a compressing of your spine. And 2. Feel your triceps tucking into the back of your armpits. And 1. Now I'd like you to flex your feet and tuck your toes. Walk your feet and your thighs together. Join the inner thighs back into the powerhouse. Let's really feel the powerhouse. Shoulders on the back as I now float the knees off of the mat. I'm keeping the tail tucked. It's as if my forehead and my tail are trying to touch. We're holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Do you feel that powerhouse yet? I certainly hope so. Let's cross the ankles, sit the hips back, and send the legs out front. If that is not possible for you, then just scoot the legs around out front. Do what you gotta do to get there. Let's take the arches to that bar now, approaching the wheel for the first time. Palms are up with elbows bent. Let's lengthen through the whole system from a tall inhale. As you exhale, push lightly into your legs, but make it mostly about what you feel in your powerhouse. The belly button pulling you back. And then the glutes engage on the backside, the arms straighten out, and there you are. As if you're not even laying on the ground, you're standing up tall against a wall. And you feel your feet reaching down into the floor, and your crown reaching up to the sky. Take an inhale here where you are. And as you exhale, chin to chest before the shoulders come up, and then round it up, bend at the elbows and sit up tall. Good. Take a tall inhale. And exhale, roll down again. Find the scoop of the belly against the reach of the tailbone. Unwind the spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, make your neck move before anything else. And then bend at the knees and the elbows and come on up. Now we're taking 5 more. Exhaling down and inhaling right back up. Can you reach your arms straight at the start? Feel that energy in your shoulders. And exhale down for 5. Inhale up. Don't bend the elbows this time. And 4. And right back up. 3. Feel the pressure of the low back into the mat. We're stretching it out. 2. And 1. This time stay all the way down. Flip your palms. Fold your head and chest up. And feel that the bands are pulling on you. And they're pulling on your shoulder blades from the back side. It encourages you to find your upper abdominal fold. Good. Now we inhale the head back. And exhale. Feel like the bands are helping you find it. Fold up for 8, 7, 6, 5. Make sure you're not dumping into the backs of your knees. 4, 3. Ribs against the floor. 2. And 1. Find that fold. Flip the palms up. Keep your spine in this shape. As you bend the elbows, the wheel comes towards you. The head and chest stays up. Let's take a round of footwork. Scoop from the belly. Keep the arms bent. And 10, 9, 8, 7. Every time the wheel goes out, the feeling is me trying to get my belly button to pull away from the waistband of my pants. 3, 2, and 1. Let's bring it back in. Put the head down for a breath. Roll your head side to side. Check in with your neck and your upper trapezius. No tension, no stress. Fold up again. Walk your toes to the bar in a narrow V shape. There's that strong stance again. Let the heels feel like they're lifted halfway up as high as they could be. Now try to keep your heels that same distance off the floor. As you reach back out towards straight legs, your feet are a lot more narrow on that bar right now. It's going to take a lot more control. And hopefully you feel how you are forced to actually activate in your feet. Your feet have to actively grab the bar. And now bend the knees back in. Keep a strong bend in the arms and give me another round of footwork. 10 and 9. When we get down to number 1, we're going to think about the 100. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now lengthen your arms out, flip your palms down. Make sure your legs are straight but not hyperextended. So soften the knees a little bit, keep the tight heel squeeze. Let's inhale to reset the spine. Exhale, fold the chest up for 3. As you take the head back down, can you keep your ribs connected to the mat? That's hard to do. 2. So it must be worth fighting for. 1. Feel the knuckles powering toward the bar. Eyes across the front of the body. Push all the breath out to start with empty lungs. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Let's count the next 50 with breath. Ten. Flip the palms, bend at the elbows and the knees as you scoop that spine off the mat. With your legs in this position, give me 3 more full rollouts. On the exhale, on the inhale. Let the palms get rotated down as you go out. Then rotate upward as you come in. One more time. Take it out. And roll it all the way back up. And release your feet from the bar. All right, we're 15 minutes in. 30 minutes to go. Let's take one end of each band off. We're going to run the handle off. Trade it for a foot loop. Once you've got that set up, we're going onto our backs for frogs, small circles, and large circles. Put your handles away. Set yourself up on your back while I take a quality check on the feet. We're looking good. Hook yourself into the loops. Start by reaching your arms up to the ceiling. The bands will be soft. Your knees are in, as wide as your shoulders. Feel your low back anchoring toward the mat. And now feel the shoulder blades pulling down the back as you reach that bar back into position and glue it to the floor. And we frog for 10. 9. Feel your opposition. 8. Try to find the feeling that every frog movement out is getting your ribs more firmly pressed into the floor. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Into small circles. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Reversing. 10. Think of the size of dinner plates. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Connect the heels and frog it back in. Connect the low back to the floor again. Reach the arms up again and reset. Can you feel your shoulder blades pulling down your back as the wheel reaches behind you? Frog back out. Hinge up to the top. 5 big circles in each direction. How quiet can you keep your pelvis and your low spine? 4. 3. 2. And 1. Come up to the top. And let's reverse. When the heels are coming apart, that's when you reach into the bands and find that extra fire in the bottom of your glutes. 4. 3. 2. And 1. And then hinge out to a diagonal and bring your frog back home. Nicely done. Before we come up, you'll unhook yourself from the bands, let the wheel hang out behind you, bring the soles of your feet together, and find a butterfly stretch for the inner thighs. Now think about the shape that you are going into right now, that external rotation. Now let's come up onto one side and work that external rotation against gravity. I'll change a little for the camera in what we call our clam. Think of it this way. You're back up against a wall. So find your ribs, your hips, and the soles of your feet against the same wall. Now your goal, as we work this movement, is to keep your hips connected to said wall, but not actually push your hip back into the wall. Because we're playing that game of what's moving versus what's not. You should feel the leg bone moving, but not the pelvic bone. Press your feet firmly together, tuck your tail. Let's take the free hand in front of the belly and rotate for 10. 9. 8. Find the feeling that you're actually reaching forward through the knee in both directions. So this pelvis stays right here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, put your hand on your pelvis. You're not going to control with that hand, but you're monitoring. Can you now lift your feet off the floor without dumping forward? So try to feel that your pelvis stays right there. Your feet are at the height of your top hip now. You might often see people at the gym doing a movement like this with a resistance band around their thighs. As I like to say, your resistance band is the pressure you squeeze between the insides of your feet. Press your feet firmly together. Let's keep the hand on the hip for this one. Feel the hip away from the torso and stable, and rotate 10. And with your hand, you should feel that the actual pelvic bone is staying put right in its place in space. And we've got 7. Don't shortchange your movement. Close all the way down. 6. Actually feel the inner thighs press. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now hold. This now becomes the first part of a 4-part movement. We rotated. We hold the rotation as we now reach from the glute out through the big toe. Bend the knee, connect the feet, and then we rotate internally. Let's take both hands to the back of the head and do our best to keep the pelvis stable. Rotate, reach, connect the feet, and close it down. Now 4, and down. 3, and down. 2, it's right here. More than anything, 1, and bring it down and relax the feet. Beautiful. This is such great stability work for the body. I'm going to actually turn away from the camera to do the other side so that you can see. I've got some dirty feet. Pardon me, that's no good. Right, so that you can see the movement from the back side. By the way, if this becomes stressful for your head, neck, and shoulders, you can also lay the arm all the way out and have your head completely down. If you've got the hand there, find that space. Shoulder down, lots of space between the neck and the shoulder itself. Now press those feet tight together. Let's review. Everything is back against a wall, including your feet. Let's put the free hand in front of the belly, tuck the tail. This is trying not to move. Remember, you're trying to stay connected to this imaginary wall, but not press back into it. And we keep the feet tight as we rotate. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, use your breath, 1. Now put your hand on your pelvis. See that it doesn't move as you lift the feet up at the height of the top hip. Keep those heels tight together. That is your resistance band. Let's take both hands behind the head. Find length. Maybe there's even so much length that your ribs float lightly off the mat. Make a space between your ribs and the floor. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That's number 1 of the 4-part movement. Now we keep the rotation from your glute. You reach. You bring the foot back together, lower it down. We've got 5. Rotate. Out, together, and down. 4. Down. 3. 2. 1. And down. Relax the feet. Nicely done. All right. Let's turn this into a hip stretch right here. You've got one ankle over the opposite thigh. You're down on your back. We've been doing this a lot lately, so you should know how to get into this. Lace the fingers. Take your right elbow and push the right thigh away from you as your hands bring the left thigh toward you. Bring your head back down. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. And access that stretch. If you have any issues with your SI joint, your sacroiliac joint, where your spine locks into your pelvis, which is a common issue these days, way too common, those rotation exercises we just did are great for strengthening that joint. That's a funky joint. It's not a traditional ball and socket like most of our bigger joints. It is a gliding joint. It is just two bones pressed against each other. It needs security. And now release and switch. Fold up to get into it. Now we're using the left elbow to press the left thigh away. Tailbone stays on the mat. And lengthen down and bring it in. If the tailbone comes off the mat, we're going to lose that stretch, so keep your hips flat to the ground. By the way, when I say the mat, I'm just talking about the floor. That's just me being stuck in my patterns of speech when I'm teaching class. We're typically on a mat. So the mat is just whatever surface you're on. And relax it. Nice. All right, rock yourself up. I'd like you to come up onto your hands and knees. We've got a round of roll-outs now. I want you to hook your feet up to the straps. We'll use the straps as support as I take a quality check on the feet. We're still looking good. Pop yourself in. Hands on the bar. Try to find that rounded cat spine. Point your tailbone down between your knees. Lift the belly and take it out for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it out. Try to lift those ribs. Try to tuck that tail down. Keep your shoulders connected to your back. You've got 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nicely done. Really good stuff. I want you to keep the feet in the straps. Take it down now to low axle. And we continue with the same movement. Closer to the floor, a little more connected. Every third rollout, we're going to hold for a 5 count. We're going to go through 3 rounds of that. Find a deeper sense of round now that the bar is lower. Take it out for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Reset round spine. And 3, 2, and 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Sorry, there should be 5. Give me 2 more counts. And now come back in. I was making it too easy. Here we go. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1 with last hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in. If you were doing it well, you are not letting that dump into your low back the whole time. Now let's stay with the straps, but you'll take your feet out for a moment and then simply turn over. You're going back into the straps. I'm going to change the angle for the camera. You can stay right as you are. And you're going to take the loops from the outside of your feet, hook them up so they're running outside your legs. Now hold onto your bar, take your legs out front. With your feet as wide as your hips, we're going into a push back. This is inspired from the classical exercise on the Cadillac that we call a reverse push through. We would typically have the push through bar in our hands from behind us. And you're going to round forward, bringing your crown between your knees. And as you uncurl, you now roll the wheel back. Make sure your elbows are not locked out. That's not good for the joint. And tuck that tail. Open up the front of your hips. Send your glutes down to your heels. And see how much stretch you can find from working your deep core. This is Powerhouse. And your eyes should be looking right at it. And then roll forward again. And roll back again for 2. Roll forward again.
And roll back again for 1. Reach into those heels. Reach with your tail. Find that stretch. And this time roll forward. And then lift your chest up high. Now let's keep the chest tall and try to hinge back without rounding, but just hinging. Hinging your hips, hinging with your shoulders. Lift back up. Okay, let's do that again. I'm just resetting the clock as we come down to the last 15 minutes of our workout. Straight arms, tall spine. Try to keep your chin in and hinge back for 2. And now for 1. Come up really tall and round forward. Okay, we repeat both of those, but first we flip the palms. Now the palms are down. Roll forward. Make sure the elbows don't lock out. It's hard to do, but make sure that happens. Get the elbows in and roll back for 3. Tuck that tail. Head between the knees. And 2. Tuck that tail. And 1. Come forward and then sit up tall. And hinge 3. Hinge 2. And hinge 1. And round forward. And okay, step your way out of those straps. Come back to face your bar. Keep the bands on still. And now take it back up to high axle. As we go back into leg springs. Continuing on with scissors, helicopters, and then a short spine massage variation if it's right for you. Okay, take it down onto your back. Hook into your foot loops. Start with the circle up for shoulder placement. You're starting on the in of a frog. Every leg movement that we do in these bands like this always sort of starts and ends with a frog. And the frog is that foundational movement. I have a client with a new baby, and he was remarking how the baby just wants to do this all day long. That's the frog. It's a movement that's natural to our bodies, that our body somewhere along the way often forgets how to do naturally. Shoulders down the back. And give me 3 of those frogs. 2. And 1. And then we split it up and down for scissors. And we go 10. And feel the interesting challenge in your shoulders as the resistance from shoulder to shoulder is changing because the legs are scissoring. Take it for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. And now from this position, take your legs in opposite directions as you draw opposing halves of a circle. That's your helicopter, and switch. Take it for 4. This is a what exercise? A powerhouse exercise. You better feel your deep abdominals working really hard right now. And if you are just mush in the center of your body, then you and I are doing 2 different exercises. Because I'm holding on really tight. 3, 2, 1. Big hip opener. Heels together. Bring that frog back home. All right, reach your arms up to reset. I'm going to slide down a little bit. And from this position, shoulders down. Get that wheel back in place. Try to keep the wheel anchored to the floor as we now take our short spine massage. It starts with a frog. It reaches up into the bands, trying to keep them tense for as long as possible, but they do lose their tension once you're all the way back. Now bring your knees to your shoulders. There is nothing supporting your movement now as far as resistance in the bands. Your job is to keep the heels tight and roll yourself down as smoothly as possible, keeping that wheel on the floor until you find the tension in the bands again. Now let's take 4 more of those. Reach. Try to reach even deeper into the band. Bring the knees in and roll it down. Find the tension on the band. Control the wheel behind you. 3, and up. And roll it down. And 2. Scoop. Knees in, roll it down. And 1. And bend the knees in. And roll it down, printing that spine. 1 vertebra at a time. And find your way back to that start position of the frog. Nice work. All right, hook the bar to the back of your head. Take those bands off. And once the bands are off, you're going to take the loops off. And you're going to sort of preset the bands with the handles because they'll be coming back in a few minutes. So put your loops off to the side, run 1 band through each handle, and just have it like that, ready to go. And put it off to the side. Okay. Last 9 minutes of our workout. We're going to work the next 5 minutes, pure wheel. As we take it into a roll up, the feet go underneath. We've got a roll up, the single and double leg pull, and then spine stretch forward. Take it down onto your back, reach the wheel up overhead, connect your ribs firmly. Let's put legs together. Now that your ribs are connected to the mat, which means that your abdominals are active, reach the wheel behind you, see how far you get without the ribs coming off the mat, or until you, like me, run into a wall. Feet flex. Inhale, arms, head, and chest. Get that wheel to the ground and exhale forward. Point the toes if you get that far. Flex the feet, reach. Take it back down. And 7 more. Let this be deep stretching for the spine. 6. Find your opposition. Ribs are pulling back as you stretch forward. Reach into your heels. Try not to let the legs come with you too much. And again. Reach into those heels. Good. And 4. Take it back down. For the last 3, we're going to make it very old school, right? OG, Joseph Pilates. Once you get to the top of it, you're going to push the breath out 3 times. And further, and then roll back. He loved to pulse his stretches, what we might call a ballistic stretch. And 3, 2, 1, and roll it back. Sometimes it just feels really good. 1 more time. And 3, 2, 1. This time sit up tall. And then roll it back. I'm going to adjust forward. You just bring your knees into your chest. Reach that wheel up overhead. We've got our single leg pull. Fold up and forward. Reach 1 leg out underneath. 1 knee comes to 1 armpit. And switch. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 1. Both legs come in. The head goes down, arms up. Double leg pull. I want the knees to stay together. Fold up and forward. The bar connects literally, physically to the top of your ankles. Inhale, arms and legs. Exhale in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you reach the bar past your feet? Get your feet on it and press it down onto the floor. Now you're keeping the wheel stable. We have 5 more variations on the double leg pull. The legs will stay stationary as we work the arm movement. Let's reach the arms all the way back behind us. Fold up and forward. Now keep your chest in flexion. Inhale and exhale. And 4. Open up that chest and shoulders. Reach wider. 3, 2, And 1. Can you get your hands to that bar? Oh, maybe. Hey, come on up. Send your legs underneath. I'm going to turn for the sake of the camera to give you a different angle. Spine stretch forward. Remember, it should be really challenging to get the bar toward your feet because we're lifting the low back only up as the rest of the spine goes over. Tall on your inhale. Exhale for 5. Lift up. Inhale. Exhale for 4. This is really one of those exercises that if you don't have Pilates style understanding in your body, you're going to be like, what is the point of this? I could do this all day long. And 2, but we know there's a lift. And 1. All the way back up. And then scoop your palms underneath the bar, crisscross your legs. Let's take one quick round of serving. First shoulder placement. Exhale, 5. Exhale, 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bring it back in. Switch the cross of your legs. We finish with a twist, serving twist. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist and reach to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left. Keep those shoulders behind you. 2 to the right. 2 to the left. 1 to the right. There's so much work going on in my upper back especially. Come back to the center. Give me one more serve all the way up. Lift the arms on it. And bring it back down. All right, final stop. Take it back down to low axle. Get the wheel out in front of you. Grab those preset bands with the handles. Hook those up as we take it into a bridging sequence. That bridge should be your best friend. That bridge, along with the rest of the Powerhouse, is about really building your glutes and that glute to hamstring connection. So your glutes and your hamstrings are coming into focus. These muscles I find with so many bodies today are just underdeveloped. Underdeveloped abdominals, underdeveloped glutes and hamstrings equals what? Low back problems. Everybody's got low back problems today. What's the deal? We're dysfunctional. And then we watch TV commercials from places like, I don't know, I shouldn't be saying these things, but we watch TV commercials about spine surgeries and get out of back pain, have this surgery done. How about you just work on your muscles? How about you start strengthening yourself appropriately so that you're not just giving your money away for a ridiculous back surgery? Okay, that's all I'm going to say today. Take an inhale and exhale. Navel down, scoot that tail forward and up and find your bridge for 5. Inhale as you roll it back down, the wheel is not moving. Exhale for 4. Find that deep scoop. And 3, your legs are parallel. You're holding an invisible ball between the knees. And 2. And now for 1. Good. As you push the wheel forward, I want the arms to lengthen forward. Less stability. Now pull on the bands lightly as the legs come in. Coordinate that. 4 times. 3. 2. Feel those hamstrings pulling the wheel in. 1 more. All the way in. That feels so good. Now stabilize the wheel and roll it down. And we roll up to 3 more bridges, keeping the wheel quiet. And 2. And last time. Now we don't unbend the arms. It's going to be a pushing quality from your glutes and your quads on the front of the thighs. These are faster. We're pushing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it and roll it down. Beautifully done. Let the wheel go slightly away from you. Let's wash that away with a nice stretch for the back of the legs in the style of the tree as we wind down our workout. Bring one thigh close and stretch for 3. Stretch for 2. And 1. Hold that ankle, flex the foot. 3, 2, and 1. Round your spine. Push into your hands as you roll back. Lengthen your left leg toward the wheel. Find that stretch. Yes, yes, yes. There we are at the end of our work. Let's finish these stretches and we'll get you on your way. Now push into the hamstrings, lift yourself up. Let's take a quick twist. Maybe your hand can grab your arch or your ankle. Reach forward, twist it open. Nice. And a quick figure 4 before we switch sides. And the other leg. Bring that left thigh close and stretch for 3, 2, stay tall in your seat, and 1, grab the ankle, flex. 3, 2, and 1. Pull those ribs back, roll it back. Reach your right leg to the bar of the wheel. Feel the energy of your sits bone reaching down so that you're not dumping into your side body. Roll it back a little further. And then roll it up, lift tall. The hand crosses over, just open. Come back around, figure 4. And release. Okay, take it from child's pose through a plank. 5 push-ups if you want them, and then we're standing and we're heading out. Send it out. Good, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The hips lift from the belly, and I walk it to the toes in 4, 3, 2, and 1. The heels are down. I'm anchoring into them as I roll it all the way up. Let's reach the arms forward, take a big circle, come into your natural standing position, and round it down one last time with soft joints. Pause just before the fingers touch the floor and shake that head no. Nod that head yes. Push into your feet. As you start to roll up, push your knees towards your triceps and scoot that tail underneath you. As you're rolling up to the lower half of your spine, tuck that tail more and more and more. And then as you're coming up to the upper half of the spine, let the legs straighten out, shoulders on the back. Crown up. Take an inhale where you are. Exhale, step back into your day. Gorgeous. Okay, really fun workout. I'm going out of town soon for about a couple of weeks. I'll be taking a trip to Europe, and there's a possibility I can check in with some workouts while I'm out there, but I don't know the lay of the land yet. So I hope to be back with you again soon. And worst case scenario, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, but I'll see if I can see you before then. Till then, be strong, stay safe, and onward and upward.